Bishops in the Lords. Joining me this week in our current affairs correspondent, Adam May. Welcome.
Good evening.
Last November, a piece of research from Woolf Institute suggested that one of its main recommendations was the need to shrink the number of Church of England bishops automatically admitted to the House of Lords in order to pave the way for those of other Christian denominations and other faiths to join the House. These proposals have been debated since initial discussions began in 2011 to change the whole makeup of the House of the Lords. For many, the bishops added a much-needed Christian voice within the business of the House, although there are equally others who believe having such Christian leaders engaging in such activities continues to maintain an unhelpful link between the established church and the state. This week, however, the value that the bishops bring in offering spiritual insight received a much-needed boost in the form of a statement in the Lords from the Cabinet Office after 10,000-strong petition calling for their removal was overturned. So, Adam May is TBN's UK's news correspondent, and he is here to tell us more.
Hello, Richard. Yes, indeed. One of the things that's come out in this research is that, the bishops are valued. That is one of the key things. As you said in your introduction, one of the things has been that the role of the bishops has been something that for many, many, many years has been disputed, and the value that they bring. And the phrase spiritual insight is the word that most struck me in the statement from the Cabinet Office to how the government see the role of the bishops. So,
for all of us across the UK watching today, what can we do that can help this process?
First of all, I'd say pray. Pray for the bishops who are in the Lords, because one of the things about the bishops in the Lords is that I know that there are Christians in politics, Christians in government, where people are praying for those who work as civil servants, for those who work as MPs, but are there groups of people praying for the bishops? Mm-hmm. I'm not so sure that there is. And so one of the challenges is to mobilise the church to pray. And that's irrespective of your traditional denomination, whether you're a Baptist, a Methodist, an Anglican, a Pentecostal, whatever you are. Pray for the bishops for what they do. It is actually an arduous task. I speak to bishops who are in the Lords, and they say that sometimes it is their just faithful presence, not necessarily what they say in the debates, but just being there is one of the things that they most value, and we are to pray for them.
So we can see that when the church is mobilised, I'm assuming they were mostly the church that sent in the 10,000-strong petition, but it may not have been solely.
No, I think it's one of those things where the petition was simply to say to people, could you get rid of the bishops? And actually, the majority's won, because in the sense of saying, we need to have bishops in the Lords. One of the things that also struck me about the petition was actually it was saying that we need to call for the removal of the bishops simply because it maintains a traditional link between the established church and the state. But actually, there is a role whereby God is interested in politics. You'll have it said many, many times that God isn't interested in politics, but actually God is interested in politics, and so therefore Christians are called to roll up their sleeves and get on with it. And actually we are seeing again and again and again in Parliament where the bishops are speaking, whether it's on the housing bill, whether it's on the immigration bill, whether it's on the what is colloquially known as the bedroom tax. We are seeing concessions made in order to address a fairer and just society, and so the bishops are making a difference.
We look for more of God's voice coming out in that. But in other news, you've something going on that hasn't happened for about 1,000 years. Tell us about that.
Indeed, this is the story with Pope Francis this week, who's met the Patriarch of the Russian Orthodox Church. The first time these two gentlemen have met since the 11th century. So it really is significant. And actually, it's bringing together again of the importance of church and unity. Church unity is something that Pope Francis, as a pope, is saying, I want to get round and get to know all of the the mainstream denominations and look at how the Christian church can speak with one voice. And so, as you know, the old adage says, the church is better together than it ever is apart. And for me, the statement that these two gentlemen made on Friday was significant because it's talking about some new things. And actually, the one thing that really struck me, which hasn't had any media attention at all, was it's a 40 or 30 long bullet-pointed paragraphs that call the church to do different things. So it addresses issues of marriage, issues of persecuted Christians. But it's point 22 that for me meant something. I thought it was really honest what the two gentlemen said. They talked about the fact that we need to, as young Christians, not hide our light under a bushel. And the quote is, "Do not be afraid of going against the current, defending God's truth to which contemporary secular norms are often far from conforming." What a challenge for the young people. What a challenge. And actually, young people, if we were to encourage young Christians to step up, we would be in an amazing place if they could do such a thing.
Well, thank you very much, Adam.
Thank you.
So,